Welcome to our masterclass. What got you here won't get you there. And this is our topic for today. It's a really exciting topic because we are looking at how to bust your mindset myths so that you can create the breakthrough that you want for your career or business or life in general. Everything we discuss here will be relevant to any area that you wish to take it to. So I'm really excited because this is a topic that I absolutely love talking about. I'm Daphne Horowitz and I am the CEO coach. And what this means is that I work with CEOs and their teams to get to there. Because everybody has a level that we know that when we're really good at what we do, it brought us to this point, and we can account for all our successes because of all the hard work and effort and learning and knowledge and experience and mistakes that we make. And then we might get to a point where we feel a little bit stuck. How do we get to the next level? What's the next level of success? And how do we go there? And this is exactly the work that I do. I work with CEOs and their teams to make sure that they work on their leadership capabilities so that they become extraordinary leaders and can really take themselves, their business, their career, and their teams to the next level. And today we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that place when we feel a little bit stuck, when we know we've tried everything and everything we've tried is not really helping us to break through. What are the things that we need to focus on in order to get to that next level? So today is a jam-packed session and we are going to be really diving in. So a couple of things that I want to tell you before we start. And one is this masterclass comes with a workbook. So make sure that you've downloaded the workbook. Even better if you can print it out and have a pen ready so that you can make notes as we go along. It's really critical to the learning. There's a lot of stuff I'm going to be sharing with you today and some questions for your own reflection. So it will enhance your experience greatly if you take the time and actually work through the workbook as we go through the masterclass. And the brilliant thing is that you can press pause at any moment if you need a little bit more time to answer the question or to think about it or to reflect on it, because I'll be right here waiting for you to come back and I can continue with you. Press pause and then play again. And I'm right here. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to spend the next 45 minutes with you on this masterclass, on this really important topic. So make sure you've got a pen ready, the workbook with you, a glass of water, get comfortable, and let's dive in. And there are also some goodies along the way that I'll be sharing with you. So be sure to listen in, see what you can get, and make sure to enjoy the gifts that I will be giving you and sharing with you along the way. So you ready to get started? Let's go. So the first thing I want to talk about is mindset. So mindset is something I think a lot of us know what it is. We've heard about it, but I really want to make sure we're all on the same page and clarify what is it? What is this thing that we talk about when we talk about mindset? And in my view, it really is as simple as the way that we view the world, the way that we interpret and perceive the world and the environment and the system that we are living in. And what this really means is that all of us have a different way of perceiving our world. We could have grown up in exactly the same circumstances, but we have different personalities, different experiences, different values, different things that are important to us that kind of stuck with us along the way. And then that has formed our mindset, our worldview. It's the basis from which we come. So I like to think of it as if you think about the glasses that you wear. When you wear glasses like I do, it really takes my blurry vision and makes it very clear. But everything that I look at, I look through my glasses rather than, straight at it. So there's an interpretation or a difference that's happening when I look through these glasses. Same with if I had to put a pink tint in my glasses, then I would be looking at the world through rose-tinted glasses, as per the expression. But we are looking through something, we're perceiving our world, our experiences, everything that we go through a lens that, in the case of mindset, is based on our experience, on our knowledge, on our learning, our personality, our environment, a whole lot of factors that determine how we interpret and then experience the world that we live in. And that's what mindset is about. So now, Is mindset something that can be changed? Is it something that can be worked with? Is it something that we can, look at, or is it fixed? And that's the first question that I really want to answer here. And there's a great book by Carol Dweck called Mindset, which I highly recommend that you read. And it's called Mindset, as I said, and it talks about a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. And what she says is that people have a propensity, depending on all those factors that I spoke about before, to either have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. Now, a fixed mindset means that the way you perceive the world is the way you perceive the world, and you cannot change it. It's just the way that it is. You have very clear ideas about how things are and how things aren't, and everything that you interpret is driven through this fixed mindset, which is a little bit inflexible and not so easy to change your mind about things. So think about certain situations, and maybe if you're the kind of person that when you've made a decision or when you believe something, that is very difficult to change your mind, that indicates more of a fixed mindset. A growth mindset is one where you're more flexible. You're open to learning. You're open to making mistakes. You're not too critical with yourself when you have made mistakes, because you know it's all part of your growth and learning and development. You're prepared to take on more challenges and risks, because even if you fail, you know it's part of your journey. And a growth mindset is really linked to much higher levels of adaptability, agility, and success. Because people who tend to have a fixed mindset tend to keep themselves at the place where they're most comfortable, where they know what's going on. They keep themselves within that comfort zone of they know they're good at certain things, and they will keep doing those things that they're good at so that they can continue to get confirmation. So even highly talented people could have a fixed mindset, but they do tend to land up feeling a little bit stuck around areas of growth, because it's a bit scary to venture out into areas of the unknown, to try on things that you're not sure about, or maybe you haven't learned the skills. And that can hold you back in terms of your levels of progression, career progression, business building, and of course, success. So fixed versus growth mindset is an excellent area to really start looking at. And this is something that I want you to bear in mind as we go through this masterclass as well. And I've also got a gift for you, which I'll talk about very soon. The other thing I want you to consider is that actually we all have specific talents that are unique to us, the things that we're good at, the things that we're expert at. And the one thing that we all have, which I consider an absolute superpower, is our ability to think in a certain way. In fact, our ability to think at all. And our mindset is very closely linked to our thinking. So if you start thinking of mindset as a superpower, because when you can understand mindset and you can start to work with it and play with it so that you can create the mindset that will set you up for the best levels of success, that will help you break through those plateaus and areas of stuckness and areas of fear, then you've really mastered your superpower, which is what it means to be human. So we're going to be talking a lot more about that. And really what I want you to know very, very clearly is that changing your mindset can change your results. And it is something that can be changed. It is something that can be worked with. It's definitely not something we are born with, and that's that. We can't do anything about it. So think of the people who say, well, this is who I am. You can't change who I am. It's how I was brought up. It's just accept me as I am, and that's it. Yes, we want to love people the way they are. We want to accept them the way they are. Sure, that's really important. But we don't want to change anybody else. But we are looking at ourselves and we are saying, if we want to get to the next level and we're feeling a little bit stuck, are you scared to ask for a pay increase? Are you scared to take a risk and grow your business or hire someone to help you achieve even better results, to leverage your skills? Are you scared to go for an opportunity in a startup, which might seem risky, but it really lights your fire from the inside? Those are things that are rooted in mindset. And if you can start working with your mindset to change your mindset, you will absolutely change your results, and you can really break through any level of stuckness and plateau to really reach that next level of what is meaningful for you. And as I said, we're going to be diving into this. And one more story that I actually want to share about mindset, because I think that it really illustrates it very well, is that there's a story of a woman who was having breakfast with her husband one day in their kitchen, and she looked out of her window and she saw that they had new neighbors. And her new neighbor was hanging out her laundry outside in her garden. She was looking at this laundry and she was going, something looks a little bit strange here. The laundry's quite dirty. Why is this woman hanging up dirty laundry? And she turned to her husband and she said, something's really strange with our new neighbor over here. She's hanging up her laundry and it's dirty. Why would she hang up dirty laundry? Maybe I should go and say something. And her husband, of course, said to her, just leave things alone. Don't get involved in things that are none of your business. Leave it alone. And every so often she'd look out, and whenever she saw her neighbor hanging her laundry, it always was dirty. It really bothered her, but she kept quiet. She decided she wasn't going to go and interfere. A few weeks later, she looks out her window, and there's her neighbor hanging up her laundry, and the laundry is perfectly clean. She turns to her husband and she says to him, whoa, I think our neighbor must have done something different. Maybe she bought a new detergent, or maybe she realized her laundry was always dirty, but her laundry is clean today. I'm so excited. She's hanging up a clean load of laundry. And her husband turned around to her and said, you know what, darling? I actually cleaned our windows. And that is the story of mindset, because it's that filter that we look through that actually determines what we see and how we see our world. So think of that filter. Start becoming aware of our filters so that you can make the changes that you want to make in your world and in your career. So how do we bust those mindset myths? There really is a 5-step process here. And the first one is about awareness. We need to uncover our mindset myths. We need to know what they are, and we need to shine a light on them so that they're now out in the open, so that you can look at your mindset myths, examine them, and then bust them. And that's step 2. We'll look at that. Step 3 is once you uncover, you shine the light, you're aware of them, you bust them, you know that they're not real anymore, you go on to create better mindset habits which generate empowering responses and powerful results. And that's really the process. That's what it is. So I'm going to say it's not an overnight process. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes a lot of awareness. Always great to work with a coach or an accountability buddy, a partner who can help you with that process. It does take time, but when you start getting into this process and getting into the habit of being aware of your mindset myths, busting them, creating better habits, being conscious of your responses, and really achieving those powerful results, you will see how your life will absolutely change, and you will bust through those plateaus and those areas of stuckness and those fears that are just keeping you in the same place. So let's get ready to move on. And I'm going to start with my own story and some of the mindset myths that I've busted in my life. And the first one that I'm going to go with is, actually before I go into my story, I spoke about the gift that I have for you. And the gift is a mindset assessment. So if you want to do an assessment, it's 16 questions of, do you have a fixed or a growth mindset? 16 questions that you can answer. It's a PDF, quite short and quick. Go to the link over there, daphnahorovitz.com/mindset, and you can download the PDF and do the assessment for yourself. So go ahead and download this assessment. You don't have to do it right now. Make a note of this link and see where you stand. There's always room for improvement. So even if you come out with a fixed mindset, don't get a fright. You can always work with it. And this is what this masterclass is about. But really worthwhile doing this assessment. So go ahead and try it out. And now moving on to my story. And my story is like this. When I was 3 years old, my parents took me to a music concert. And they tell the story that I was so moved by the music, and that's me over there, that I just hopped out of my seat and went onto the platform, onto the stage, and started dancing. And I can only imagine, my parents captured the moment, they took a picture of it, and I'm so grateful that they did. Because when I look at this little girl who jumped out of her seat, no fear, no shame, no embarrassment, no thinking, what will people think? I just felt the music in my heart and I wanted to dance. And that's what I did. And for me, it's just such a good reminder of, who we were as children. That's a mindset that you sit with of what's possible for us. When we're children, we don't have so many of those fears and thinking about what will people think, embarrassment. We really just go with where we're at and what we're feeling. And we jump onto the stage and start dancing because that's what we want to do. And that's what I did. So I wanted to take a moment for each and every one of us to connect with that child within us before fear, before shame, before embarrassment, before worrying about what others will think or what it will look like. Bring up a picture of yourself at that age. Here's a picture of me, also around the age of 3 or 4. Go and see if you can find a picture of yourself and pull it out. And if you don't have any pictures, then think in your mind about the picture of yourself in your cutest, best, most lovable version. And ask yourself, what are 3 words that applied to you at that age? What are your 3 words? And here we have there's a bit in the workbook that you can go and work through and think about. This is on page 2. So go ahead and open up your workbook and think about your 3 words that describe yourself at the age of 3, 4, 5, or 6. And think about 3 qualities that describe you. My 3 qualities are curious, fun, and adventurous. And actually, I would also add questioning. I was always asking questions at that stage. I wanted to know why things work the way they do and what makes people think behave the way they do. I'm putting adult language into it. But think of your 3 words and write them down, because there's something in our core at the age of 3 that hasn't left us today. We are still, that little girl is still inside of us. And we really want to know who she is, what excited her at that age. So connect with that moment and write down your 3 words. And then I want to fast forward and take you to August 2012, when I climbed Kilimanjaro. I reached the summit of Kilimanjaro, which is the tallest mountain in Africa. It's 6,000 meters above sea level. And this was one of the highlights and achievements of my life. Also one of the most difficult things that I chose to do. And for me, it was a real moment of pride and accomplishment, and really connects to that little girl inside me who is adventurous, fun, and curious about stuff, wants to know and wants to try out new things. And I'm going to take you through my story a little bit, because reaching the summit of Kilimanjaro was a big myth-busting moment for me. And the reason is that here I am on the summit of Kilimanjaro. The reason that this was a myth-busting moment for me was because growing up, I was not sporty at all. In fact, I really hated sport. It was when we had physical education classes at school, I would always beg my mother for a note to get me out of going. Swimming classes were my absolute worst. I just hated swimming. So I would always say that I've got some kind of a stomach ache or something, ask my mother for a note excusing me from class that day. Sometimes she did it, sometimes she didn't. But it just wasn't something that I enjoyed. And to take on a physical challenge such as this was not anywhere in my thinking or upbringing at all. In fact, I was a little bit of a maths boffin at school. I absolutely loved maths. The journey of curiosity and fun and adventure was really around academic learning. I love challenges, and I loved a challenge when I was young, from a very young age. And I was really drawn to the world of problem solving and mathematics and rational logic and how things are put together. And this is where my journey took me. It took me on a journey of exploring how I can, delve more deeply into the mathematical sciences, and I landed up becoming an actuary, okay? And actuaries are people who are highly specialized in their field, work very much in the realm of statistical modeling, lots of insurance companies and investment firms and, all of those good things. And this is where I landed up. There was also always a huge emphasis in our home on academic learning and being the best that you can be and achieving the highest levels that you can achieve within your potential. So we were encouraged, and again, another myth-busting moment over there is that we were encouraged as a girl growing up in a time when girls were not orientated towards the scientific subjects. We were encouraged to be and achieve anything that we could on an academic level. Sport meant absolutely nothing, less of a value in our house. So it was actually a complete irrelevant non-event. It was not something that was part of my life at all, except, as I said, when we had phys ed classes, I just wanted to get out of it. So that's how I mapped out my career. And I think the journey is similar for many of us. We decide on an area that we want to develop and grow in, or we somehow led that way in some way. And this is what we do. We create our journey, we plot our career, we plot our path based on, perhaps expectations, perhaps stuff that we're good at, perhaps stuff that we're even passionate about. And we take ourselves from here to there in a path that leads us along a certain way. And for me, that path was along the mathematical journey, scientific journey of becoming an actuary. And then we do what we need to do. We gain the learning, whether it's going to college or university, whether it's getting our experience in a certain field. We do what we need to do to take ourselves from where we are to the next stage in our career to get us to where we want to be. And yeah, similar for a lot of people. And for me, when I looked at the Kilimanjaro trip, it was really an area that I wanted to challenge myself in. Actually, how it came about was someone had mentioned to me that climbing Kilimanjaro is something that you don't need specific mountaineering skills for. So it's a really, really tough hike. You need to prepare for it, but it's not something that you need to, be particularly skilled at. So anyone can do it. And when I heard that and loving a challenge, I thought, okay, this is something that I want to take on. I have to tell you that from the moment that I made that decision, I asked myself, why on earth did I do this? Why did I decide to take this on? Because it was tough. Coming back, myth-busting moment. I'm not sporty. I can't do physical things. I don't do physical things. I don't like physical things. I never even had any exercise regime or routine. I have to admit, I'd never really gone to gym, hadn't done anything as a routine form of exercise up until that point. And then this challenge came up and I decided to go for it. And we were a group of 18 women who decided to climb for a charity. It was a charity that I was involved with on a volunteer basis. I was helping them set up their framework and strategy and vision and goals. And we came up actually with a fundraising idea of climbing Kilimanjaro, and that's what we decided to do. So in that experience is also when I started training from a physical point of view. In order to do this kind of a hike, you need to do some training, you need some skills, you need gear, you need team, you need a plan, you need a whole lot of things to put this trip in place. And I just started, and this is actually when I started running. And to this day, I run. I'm a runner. I've run a half marathon so far. Very proud of myself. But again, complete myth busted of I'm not a sporty person to climbing a mountain and now being a half marathon runner. This is really something that was not in my mindset when I was growing up and when I was younger. So we put the thing together, we really got it going, and we got to our climb, we got to our day of, or our trip. And I'm going to, again, just take you forward to this point, this moment in time, where this was my moment of breakthrough. This was 1,000 meters, 1 kilometer before the summit. And this was my moment of breakdown. This was, at this point, we had been on the mountain for 5 days, and it was really, really tough. Every day was hard. It was freezing. It was uncomfortable. Sleeping in tents, also completely out of my comfort zone. Physically, it was really challenging. It was exhausting. The breathing was really hard at the top of the mountain. Of course, there's a lack of oxygen, and the cold and the exhaustion. All of that together is really, really tough. And the night of the summit was really the pinnacle of the whole thing, because you leave for the summit at 11 o'clock at night. So you're climbing or walking or hiking through the night, and at sunrise, you're almost there. So this was really the moment of sunrise. We were almost at the summit, 1,000 meters to go. And this is where I broke down. I just did not know if I would make it. I couldn't take another step. And with a lot of encouragement, thankfully, for the beautiful team that was with me, and the guide that we had, my guide came to me and he rubbed my back. I was absolutely frozen, could not move my fingers or toes, couldn't take another step. And they gave me some words of encouragement and rubbed me up and down to warm me up a little bit, gave me a little bit of very lukewarm water by the stage to drink. And at this moment, something shifted in my mind, and I got up and I started walking again. It was like a switch had turned on, and I knew this was something that I wanted. I knew that I could do it, and I just got up and took that next step. And I really believe that, again, this is related to mindset, because my mindset has shifted from I can't do it, I'm done, I'm finished, to actually all you need to do is take one more step. You've got an amazing team around you helping you get there. You've done the training. This is something that you want so badly. My guide reminded me, I know how much you want this. I know how hard it is, and I know you can do it. And something switched on, and I took that next step, and that got me to the summit. So that's the moment that we started walking again. And in that moment, in that switch, my mindset shifted, and I got through. I got through that plateau of not being able to go any further, and I took that step and reached the summit. So the question I want to ask you here is, what is your next level? Where are you feeling stuck at the moment? Where are you feeling that you're at a plateau? Is it about going for that promotion? Is it about asking for a higher salary, getting that bigger paycheck? Is it about a dream opportunity that's coming, but you're not sure? It's a little bit risky. It's a little bit unknown. It could be moving out of your career, which could look stable and solid, and moving into starting your own business, or moving into a partnership or a startup that looks exciting, but you're not sure how stable it is. What level are you stuck at in this moment? And really, I'm relating it to work and career questions, business questions, but could be also in your own life. Where are you feeling stuck? Where are you holding yourself back? And what is your next level? So go ahead and write that down so that you have it in front of you. And for me, it's really about understanding that we are going to have many plateaus in our life. We always do enough, learn, stretch ourselves, grow ourselves enough to get to a certain level, to get to the what got you here part. Wherever you are at the moment, it's really great, because everything that you've done and everything that you've achieved has brought you to this place. Your learning, your knowledge, your experience, your personality, your values, your family, your environment, everything. The whole picture is everything that has brought you to this point. And then we get to a place where we keep trying to push through, we keep trying to break through, but something is stuck, something is holding us back, and that's the plateau. That's that plateau. We all know what it's like to be in the plateau, and we experience more than one plateau in our life. It's not just one. But we know that something needs to shift. Something different needs to happen in order to get us to that next level, to break through the plateau, to break through the stuckness, to break through whatever it is that's holding us back to get to that next level. And to be honest, sometimes we don't know what that next level is. When I made my career transition from actuary to CEO coach, it took me a long time to figure out the CEO coach bit, but I knew that as an actuary, I was not feeling satisfied. I was not fulfilled. I was enjoying aspects of it, but I was not passionate about it. And I felt at that plateau for quite a long time until I figured out what is my next there. But where it really begins, where this journey begins of breaking that plateau, is through the journey of understanding our mindset and working with it to help us get to the next level. And I also like to think of it actually a little bit like a game. So we know in computer games, in gaming, we always want to break through to the next level of the game. And we know that we gather skills, we gather tools, we gather whatever a game it is that we're playing, we gather a whole lot of stuff that helps us to play this level that we're at in the best possible way. But the minute we unlock the next level, completely new unknown. We don't know what to expect. We don't know what it looks like. We don't know what skills we'll need. We don't know what tools we'll need. We don't know who we'll have to fight off. We don't know what we'll have to discover about ourselves. And we play it and we get through and we learn along the way. And that's exactly what it's like in life. That when we've reached, let's say, the completion of a certain level in our life and we want to break through to the next level, it's just like a game. But that unknown scares us. And that's when we get stuck. With a game, we get excited about the next level. We get excited about discovering the new terrain. In life, it's a little bit more scary and it holds us back. It keeps us a little bit stuck. So that's what we want to look at. How do we push through? How do we embrace the unknown and really adopt a mindset that can help us get through rather than the mindset that is going to keep us in exactly the same place? And that's the whole concept of what we know is not necessarily going to be enough to take us to that next level. So I really want to look at 3 mindsets that we hold that we can start playing with and shifting in order to embrace that next level of the game, the next unknown, and our breakthrough to the next level of success. So, first one is really about who am I? It's pushing past the mindset of fear to the mindset of courage, and it's steeped in who am I? Here we have our most powerful superpower, which is our thinking and our mindset, and also starting to get to know your brand. Who are you really? What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? What are your particular talents that are so unique to you that you want to develop and build into who you are and what your next level is? Your values come into that, how you operate in the world, what drives you. And there's a big exercise here that I want you to think about, and we're not going to go into it in this masterclass, but really important is a feedback exercise. It is so important to get feedback from the people around you because we all carry blind spots. By definition, we are blind to them. We cannot know what they are without asking people around us. And it's really important to get a sense of who we are both at our best and our worst, so that we can really be in that place of awareness that when the fear comes and grabs us, we can respond with courage because we know we have enough talents and enough power to push through to that next level. So this is an exercise or a part of the mindset that we really want to shine the light on, understand who you are in all of your facets so that you take all of that and in your super knowledge of who you are, you build the courage to push forward to the next level. Because sometimes it really is just about building up your belief and knowledge about yourself and confidence in yourself to have the courage to take that next step that sometimes sounds very, very scary. So the question I'm going to have you work with today, and it is in your workbooks, is what is your superpower? The first superpower that I mentioned, of course, is our superpower of thinking, and I'm going to give you a little tool that you can use to really look at that and work with it. And the other part of the superpower is all your other superpowers, those things that are your unique talents and strengths that are unique to you. They are unique to how you show up in the world. They make up your personal brand so that you're not shy to stand in it. And there's a great story here about Elon Musk, who named his 4 Teslas, his 4 models of the Tesla. There's a Model S, a Model 3, a Model X, and a Model Y. Why did he do that? Because if you take those 4 letters, you write them out, S3XY spells out sexy. And for him, that's part of his brand. That's who he is. He wants to, be exciting. He wants to be sexy, and he wants to make that part of his brand and business. So don't be shy to take who you are and understand the uniqueness of your particular brand and stand in that so powerfully that that's when you shift mindsets. If I look at my myth busted of I'm not sporty, I can't do sport, I can't run, I can't do any of that, and then I climbed a mountain and I am a marathon runner now. So that is a proper shift in mindset that has just changed how I do things and who I am. You want to look for that exactly within you. What are the myths that you are holding on to, the beliefs about yourself that you're holding on to, that you can shift so that you can really get to that level of courage that will take you through to the next level. So think first of all about what are those things that you are really good at. What are your superpowers that you want to work with? And look at your thinking, which is your ultimate superpower. And really, very briefly, I'm going to look at this model, which is a very powerful model at how we look at our thinking. So what happens here is that when something happens to us, when we have an event, okay, for example, our boss sent us a rude email. We immediately have a reaction and we get into action. So our boss sent us a rude email. Our action might be, and if you look at that long arrow, that's exactly what I'm referring to, the root of the long red arrow. From event straight to action, we get angry. We leave our office and go grab an ice cream. We pick up the phone and talk to our friends about what just happened. We go storm into our boss's office and start shouting at them for being rude or unreasonable or whatever it is. Those are actions, a whole myriad of actions that we feel are triggered by this event. Now, it's true that the event triggers something, but the event is not the cause of your action. What's actually leading to your action is your thinking. We don't respond to an event. We respond to our thinking about the event. And this is where mindset comes in. Because if an event comes in, our boss wrote a rude email, we get angry about it, and we take action, and we attribute our action to the event. I did this. I stormed into my boss's office because he wrote me a rude email. But if we look at our thinking about it, we can see there's a different process happening here. So let's start with a fact. Fact is something that everyone would agree on. Now, is my boss wrote a rude email? Is that a fact? We can't be sure about that. We actually don't even know. That's your opinion or your interpretation of it. It's your thinking about the email. But was it really rude? For now, all we know is that your boss wrote you an email. That's it. That's the fact. Everybody would agree that your boss wrote you an email. That's the fact. Now, let's work with our thinking. Having the thought, this was a rude email, sends you down one path. you feel disempowered, you feel angry, you feel disappointed, you feel unappreciated, and that leads to a whole lot of action. But what if you had to change your interpretation? What if you had to change your thinking? What if you had to think, instead of, this is a rude email, if your thought was, I wonder what he's going through if he woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning? Or if your thinking is, I can set boundaries. This email doesn't work for me. I need to be able to set boundaries about how my boss speaks to me or sends me emails. I can set my own boundaries. Or your thinking can be, I'm a courageous person. I can take this on and deal with it in an empowered way. Those thoughts will lead to other feelings. Think about, okay, the thought or the interpretation, I can set my own boundaries. You have feelings of empowerment, and your action might be different. Your action might be, I'm going to do nothing with this now, but tomorrow when everything is calmed down, I will sit down with him and ask him what his thinking was and let him know what's okay with me and what's not okay with me. You can choose a different, more measured, more toned down, more effective and successful action when you play with your thinking and interpretation about an event. And it starts by separating out what is fact and what is interpretation. And the fact is, even if your interpretation is that the email is rude, you can add thoughts to that which might actually have nothing to do with you. The rude email could have been because he had a massive fight with his partner that morning, or his or her, whatever. I'm assuming the boss is male, could be anything, applies to anything. But it could be that they had a massive fight that morning with someone close to them, and that led them to send out an email without thinking. Got nothing to do with you or your situation. So we can start looking at things differently when, first of all, separate out the fact from the thinking and then work with the thinking. And mindset sits with your thinking. Now, mindset can also be deeper than that, because if you have a mindset of I'm not worthy, or I'm not good enough, or I always get things wrong, you can understand that that leads to certain thoughts and feelings and actions that will be different to if you start with a mindset of I am worthy, I know what I'm doing, there's no reason to send me this rude email, what's going on here? There must be something else going on. Very different feeling. But what it requires is that we start being aware of our thinking and our interpretation before we take action. And whatever action we take can really influence our result. So that's starting to work with mindset and thinking and shifting thinking and shifting interpretation. And I know it's a big topic, but just I'm planting the seed here of what it can look like. The second mindset that I want to talk about is about the mindset of we are not alone. We sometimes have the mindset that we carry our burdens and carry our responsibilities all alone. We are the only ones experiencing a certain thing, or even if we might know that we're not the only one, when we're experiencing something, it feels very isolating. And if we can push past feeling that aloneness and understanding that we have a whole community and a support system around us to work with and to help us and support us and encourage us to take that next step, to believe in ourselves and to take a risk or ask for something that we know is good for us, like that paycheck increase, then we feel supported and we feel that we can do a whole lot more. We feel a lot more courage as well. So go to your workbooks and fill in. Who do you know? Who are the people around you that you can trust? Your champions, your supporters, your coaches, your mentors, your advisors. Think about it. Doesn't have to be a long list, but a few people, and it can be different people in different areas of your life, but who are the people that you know you can trust, that you know will support and champion you and guide you along your journey, especially when you need to do some of the tough stuff, when you need to make tough decisions and when you need to take risks. And then you'll see in your workshop as well, there's an area to write down, who is one person I can reach out to today? Who is one person I can do that with? And really choose your person. Doesn't have to be everyone, but choose your people that you can trust. And the third mindset is the mindset of thinking big but starting small. So we all have a life that is complex and filled with different things that move and change all the time. And yet there are certain things that we can ground ourselves in and we can find for ourselves that will help us to ground us when we start to lose our way. And those are, what is my purpose? What is my why? What is my vision? Where do I want to go? And what is my mission? How am I going to do this? What are the things that we want to do? Now, when we look at purpose, you look at why do I wake up every morning to do the thing that I do? What is it that's driving me? What's my strong why that fuels me and drives me and gets me going every day? My vision is my big thinking, my big picture of what's possible for me. And sometimes we keep ourselves small in that. We don't allow ourselves to dream big enough. So allow yourself to dream big. What is your vision? And the mission is, well, what am I going to do to get me to my vision? Now, when we keep ourselves from thinking big, we think small, we often feel that level of something's holding us back. So if you can break through that and think big, and at the same time, we need to take small steps in order to get there. So that's also a mindset that can hold us back when we're thinking big and we think we need to take these big steps and we don't know if we can do it. Actually, we need to think big and take small steps. So for me, Kilimanjaro is such a good example of that, because thinking big is getting to that summit, getting through those 7 days of climbing a mountain, 6,000 meters above sea level. But how did we get there? With small steps. It was one step at a time. And when I reached my moment of breakdown, I knew all I needed to focus on was one step, that next step. Can I take one more step? And when in my mind, I just knew all I needed to do was take one more step. And then after I took that step, it was just one step. And after that, it was just one step. And that's what got me to the summit. And that's what's going to get you to your big vision. So make sure you do some thinking work. And again, there's space in your workbook to think about, what is your why? What is your big vision? Allow yourself to dream big. And what is your mission? How and what are you going to do to get there? Then look at those questions, fill those in, think about it, reflect on it. It takes a bit of time. And make sure that holds the framework for the mindset that you can achieve anything. Anything. When I reached that summit, my sense of achievement was so huge. I thought, if I could do this, I can really do anything. And I felt it in my bones. You can feel that too. Feel it in your bones. I can do this. I can dream big, think big, and I can get there one small step at a time. So the one question I'm leaving you with here is the question of, what is your why? And this is a really good question. It speaks to purpose, really speaks to looking at, why do I do what I do every day? Why? What is my why? And a brilliant exercise here that's in your workbook is to start off by asking yourself, why do I get up in the morning? Or why do I do the job that I do? Or why am I in this career? Why is it important to me? And then repeat that question 5 times. So for example, why do I do what I do? Why am I a CEO coach? Because I love making a difference in organizational culture to make sure that it's an amazing place to work, that people become leaders that other people want to work for and want to follow. The next question would be, well, why is that important to you? Why is it important for you to change workplace culture? And for me, it's because that's the thread of society. We spend so much time at work, and if it's this meaningless, I have to get the job done, then it can get quite depressing. And I want to inject workplaces with a sense of joy and purpose and meaning. And then the next question, why is that important for you? Why is it important for you to inject workplaces with a sense of purpose and joy and meaning? Then I would answer that again. And that's the exercise I would like you to follow in the workbook when you're answering the 5 whys. It's called the 5 why exercise. That allows you to get to a deeper root cause of your real sense of why. And I will say that it's easier to do it with someone. So partner up with someone and get them to ask you your whys and see what you come up with. Often comes to some root cause of really, why do you get up in the morning? Why are you really here in this world today? So this is really the 3 mindsets that I shared a lot about why mindset is so important and how we can work with it. And this is the journey. It's the journey of starting with the why. Why am I here? Why is this important to me? Having the courage to break through and building a mindset of courage. This is all about mindset. Community, knowing that you're not alone, knowing that you have a whole team to support you and take you on the journey. And then vision. Think big. Allow yourself to dream big. What is that thing that you want? What is your dream? What is your next level that you're dreaming of? If you could have anything, what would that be? And then you become aware of the mindsets that are running your thinking. Does this mindset help you or does it hold you back? Is it moving you closer to your vision or is it taking you further away? And this is the journey part 1 because it begins with mindset, these 4 things that I've described here. And part 2 is about really then getting from here to there. This is where you are today. You want to get to the next level. First thing you work on is your mindset. Then you think about, what is it that I want? How am I going to get there? What am I going to do to get there? And you know what? We often sit and get stuck. This is our area of stuckness, is areas 4 and 5. What's wrong? And the whole drama of the story of the he said, she said, and this is what happened, and this is why I can't, and this is what's wrong with everything. And this is really about, again, our thinking. Where are we going to focus our thinking? Are we going to look at mindset, vision, plan, and action? Or are we going to focus on the problem and drama? The problem and drama keep you stuck, keeps you in the here, and doesn't move you forward. The vision, plan, and action, and of course mindset work, allows you to open up that window to the there. Where do you want to go from here? Let's start thinking about that and opening up our mindsets to that. So, to summarize what I've said really in 3 points, mindset is key. It's about the awareness of it. So first of all, shine a light on those mindset myths and bust them. Second, create conscious change. Build those healthy mindset habits around thinking, exploring all those questions that I gave you. And there are lots more. Do the mindset assessment. See where you are. Are you naturally tending to a fixed mindset or are you naturally tending to a growth mindset? Remember those 3 words that you applied to yourself when you were 3, 4, 5 years old. Where are those words today? Where are those qualities today? Go back to them and say, are you living those qualities? Are they part of your mindset or have you forgotten about them? Do you need to bring them back alive? Lots of things you can do to build healthy mindset habits. And then take action. When you take action, you choose your response and you create a different level of result. It's an absolute given that this is what's going to happen. I wanted to almost say guarantee, but in life there are no guarantees. But when you do the work, when you do the mindset work, you change your results. I've seen it over and over again in my own life and in the life of my clients and the people that I work with. Okay, gift number 2. I've just launched my new book, Weekly Habits for Extraordinary Leaders, and really this helps you to work on your mindset, work on leading people and leading your business or career. It's available on Amazon, but you can also get your free sample of the book. It's really 20 pages, which is quite a lot, gives you a good sense of it. And there's your link for collecting that free sample. So go ahead and enjoy. And for the VIP members of this Empower Summit, you get a free 20-minute strategy session with me. So head on to my website and send me an email. Use the code EmpowerHerVIP to qualify, and you get your free VIP strategy session from me. So we can look at some of those mindset myths and how to bust them and how to create those mindset healthy habits to get you to your next level of success. And I look forward to hearing from you. And I'd like to leave you with a couple of thoughts. It's not about how you can do more. It begins with how you can be more. This is what mindset is. It's about who we are and how we can be more. And you'll see that on the last page of your workbook, there's a short declaration or commitment from your side to sign off and add any comments or thoughts or something that you want to add to your commitment from our masterclass today. And it says, today I commit to working on my 3 mindsets, to bust the myths that are holding me back and keep growing myself towards my goals, step by step. So sign the declaration, make the commitment, and start working on your mindset, on busting your mindset myths, building healthy mindset habits. Start working on it today. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed my time here with you today. I hope you got a lot out of this masterclass. Any questions at all, any thoughts or comments that you want to share, any insights that you received, I always want to hear from you. I grow from feedback, so I want to hear what worked for you, what would you have liked more of, what was missing. Send me an email. I'd love to hear from you. And go on, let's bust those mindset myths and get us to the next level of success.